I believe that there's a reason God structured creation through days, through rest and rhythm. I believe that legacy is built on repetition, on intention, and on sacred structure. Did you know that only 1.9% of women entrepreneurs, 0.9% of Black business owners, and just 0.5% of Black women entrepreneurs ever cross the seven-figure mark? That changes right here. If you are ready for high-level, high-income conversations about all things millions, your mission, your mindset, your methodologies, your mandate, your movement, your messaging, your marketing, your metrics, and of course, your money, just by listening, your income is going all the way up. Every week, you'll hear powerful stories, transformational interviews, and million-dollar business growth insights to help you scale and sustain a seven-figure business with grace and ease, not hustle and grind. I am your host, Dr. Darnyelle Jervey Harmon, award-winning spiritual business growth strategist, eight-figure entrepreneur, and God girl on a mission to help you experience abundance in your life because of your business. This is the Move to Millions podcast. Welcome home. Before we dive into this week's episode, let me ask you something real quick. If this podcast has ever made you think deeper, shift something in your spirit, or take bold, bankable action in your business, would you do me a favor? Would you take a moment and scroll down and leave us a rating or review? Listen, that's how we grow this message and get it into the ears of more seven-figure CEOs and seven-figure CEOs in the making. Your words matter. Your support matters. So please take a moment to go ahead, rate, review, and then come right back because this episode is about to shift everything. Welcome back to the Move to Millions podcast. I am your host, Dr. Darnyelle, God girl, eight-figure entrepreneur, and the award-winning CEO of Incredible One Enterprises, where we transform the soul and strategy of business owners so that they make the move to millions. And just know, when we say millions, we mean millions. This is about wealth, financial legacy, and stewardship over in this camp. Today, we are back with another episode in our Legacy-Led CEO series. We're going to jump into episode number 3. But let's do a quick review. And if you happen to be here for the very first time, I just want to take a moment and say welcome. I am so excited that you are here. I believe in the work that we are doing in this show. I believe that your presence is an indication that you understand the significance of building and to do so in a way that honors you financially and spiritually. And so I'm so excited that you are here. I'm going to say welcome home because we know it will not be the last time. So a quick review on the 2 episodes that we've had so far in the Legacy-Led CEO series. So far, we've defined the identity of a legacy-led CEO and we've explored the currency of conviction. But let's be clear, legacy is not just an idea. It is not a vibe or a wish. It's not something that you can put on a t-shirt and think that you've arrived. It is a set of lived rhythms. And so in today's episode, I want to walk you through the 7 purpose-driven practices that create the internal stability and the external fruit that will result in a legacy. Because let's be clear, millionaires set goals. But legacy-led CEOs, they establish practices and rhythms that reinforce the vision. So I believe that you do not become a legacy-led CEO by working harder. And as a just quick recap, in case this is your first episode in this series that you're joining, in the very first episode of the series, I broke down the 4 different levels of leadership: business owners, entrepreneur, CEO, then legacy-led CEO. So I don't believe you become a legacy-led CEO by working harder. And you know, I am anti-hustle and grind. I'm all about grace and ease. You become one by aligning your lifestyle with your leadership. I believe that there's a reason God structured creation through days, through rest and rhythm. I believe that legacy is built on repetition, on intention, and on sacred structure. Studies show that nearly 90% of high-performing entrepreneurs attribute their success to consistent daily routines that center clarity, intention, and spiritual or strategic reflection. That's according to Harvard Business Review and McKinsey. McKinsey also says that CEOs who implement consistent reflective rhythms outperform their peers by 25% in growth cycles. Now, here's what we know. Your business will never outperform the integrity of your daily habits. Real talk. If you are praying for millions, but you are building on chaos, misalignment, and reactivity, you'll never experience sustainable success. And I just want to sidebar there because this is about scaling to and sustaining. You've heard me define scaling as the act of multiplying, duplicating, and replicating a series of systems and strategies in order to increase results and revenue. It's not just about scaling, it's about scaling and sustaining. I know that some ridiculous number, like maybe 78% of those who have done seven figures once do not repeat it. That's crazy. That's crazy. That means that they were not building on a solid foundation. They were literally building on quicksand. And that's not how we play around here. We want to be able to see our clients continue to grow every single year, multiplying their millions because they've established the set of infrastructure that's going to make the difference. And that's why we have the Move to Millions method, which is our proven framework and methodology. It's got 7 pillars: strategy optimization, sales infrastructure solidification, systems and efficiency, support team alignment, success mindset, self-care, and soul leadership. I did a whole series here on the podcast all about soul leadership. I highly recommend, if you haven't checked it out, that you go and you check it out. All right, so I want to take some time really breaking down these 7 purpose-driven practices. Now, these 7 practices form what I like to call the Legacy Leadership Protocol. It's a strategic and sacred rhythm system that is designed to align your inner world with your leadership, with your wealth, and ultimately with your divine assignment. Each practice expands your capacity to hold more without burning out, to receive more without shrinking, and to steward more without striving. Could I get a witness? Oh, I'm so excited. This is my first time ever out loud in real life sharing the Legacy Leadership Protocol. So I'm excited to share it with you for the very first time. It's so, so good. If you're taking notes, you'll want to write all of this down. You may just come back to this episode many, many times. Number 1 is making sure that you have a CEO Sabbath, a weekly period of reset and rest. Now, this is about really anchoring in and really allowing yourself the opportunity to leverage the power of self-care. It's why we expanded the Move to Millions method to include self-care as one of our pillars. Sabbath is a trust test. It's how you prove to God and yourself that you believe provision comes from obedience, not overwork. Just 1 day a week that you take off changes everything. The first time I took a full day off, I was afraid, I'm going to be honest, that things would go awry in the business. Now, this was once I started to have some team members. I didn't have leaders like I have today. In addition to, team members that are actually performing the task and doing the work. But I was afraid that if I wasn't present, I wasn't going to earn. And I'll be honest, y'all, that mindset kept me playing small for way too long, overbooking myself, thinking that being booked and busy was the way to go, when being booked and busy is not the answer, right? It means you're not charging enough if you're booked and busy. You need to raise those prices so that you get a little bit of space, right? But what happened when I really started realizing that I deserved to take time away from work is I actually allowed peace to flood in and overflow to follow. Now, I've taken off as much as 2 weeks completely absent from the business, and the business still maintained, money was still made, all of those things. I'm working up to a month off because I'm turning 50 this year, and I'm doing 50 days abroad for 50 years. I'm going to break it up into 2 different trips of 25 days. Well, actually, the first trip is 21 days. The second trip is the balance of time, but I'm looking forward to it. Oh, I'm so excited. Y'all, I'm so excited for this. And I know that having the team in place is what's going to allow for me to be able to do that. But that CEO Sabbath, the weekly reset, is non-negotiable. That's why it's the first anchor in the Legacy Leadership Protocol. Yes, there is a reason your strategy feels stalled. And I bet you didn't realize it's spiritual. Discover your divine wiring, which informs how you lead, where you sabotage, and how to shift in order to scale with the Move to Millions Ascension Archetype Quiz. In less than 3 minutes, you'll learn what's really blocking your money, your momentum, and your mission. Take the quiz today at movetomillionsquiz.com. Hey, I hate to interrupt the goodness that's happening right now in this episode, but I need you to do me a quick favor. If this episode is blessing your life and business right now, will you take a few moments and rate and review the show? Your words help more millions-minded entrepreneurs find us and step into their next level. All right, thank you so much. Let's get back into the conversation because we're just getting started. Number 2 is your 7-figure journaling. This is what I consider to be your morning calibration. So spending some time to journal how you attune to the frequency of overflow before the world tries to pull you out of alignment. Listen, and this 7-figure journaling for me, it starts in my journal and then it finishes in emotional freedom technique and breath work. The truth of the matter is this: if you don't direct your thoughts, your trauma will. So you've got to spend some time. I love active journaling. Active journaling is when I pose a question to God, to my higher self, to my spirit, and I sit in the significance of waiting for the answer. And then once the answer starts, I just start writing and I flow. Oh my gosh, the way that I flow. And when I go back and reflect, what I have written down is like blueprint for whatever it is that I've been thinking about needing to do in order to move an area of my life or an area of the business forward. It's a true game changer. Number 3 is make sure that you have a legacy ledger. This is where you're doing your weekly and monthly financial and faith review. Reviewing your finances is not fear, it's stewardship. Now, I believe that the way you see money is about the way you see yourself. And I also believe that until your relationship with yourself, with money and wealth, and with success and leadership is your sanctuary, your move to millions is in jeopardy. It is why later this year, I'm launching a brand new program called Sanctuary. Oh, I cannot wait for you guys to learn all about it. In fact, I want to invite you to go get on the wait list for Sanctuary. If you go to incredible1enterprises.com/sanctuary, you can get on the wait list for Sanctuary. And I'll even put it in the show notes in case you didn't catch that. Here's what I know. Your books reveal what you believe about God's ability to multiply. And you don't want to be an avoider. You really want to be a person who feels safe with money, that feels secure with money, that understands what money is. Money is a tool. It is not an identity marker. It is not even a measuring stick. It is no indication of your level of worth or worthiness. It is merely a transactional energy that is available to you at all times and flows to you in accordance to the way that you see yourself and you see it. The end. If any of this is creating stress or tension in your body, then you want to go get on the wait list for Sanctuary. incredible1enterprises.com/sanctuary. All right. Now, you don't avoid your ledger, you lead through it. Number 4 is you want to make sure that you have a spiritual CEO check-in. These can be monthly or quarterly vision audits. These become the way that you focus in on your alignment, being attuned to God's voice, hearing what God is saying, and leveraging that and making sure that it shows up in your strategic plan and your 90-day sprint. Every 90 days, you should be working on your business, not just in it. One of the things we do in our Proximity Mastermind is we get together with our clients every 90 days and we're 90 days ahead. So we're always refining the current quarter, but also setting the strategy for the next quarter based on the global strategic plan that we've created, that we fine-tune at our October retreat. This is about making sure that when you are doing this spiritual CEO check-in, it is a period of fasting and prayer, whatever that means for you. It's not about silence. It's about hearing your next divine instruction and hearing it clearly. Turning down your plate entirely, giving up sugar, stopping drinking sodas, getting off of social media. Those are examples of fasting that really allows you to attune to God's voice and what God is speaking to you in this season of your life and in your business so that that can show up for you. I started doing these and I actually fast every single month. Started out quarterly, but then I felt like I could go deeper and I started doing more. And so now every single month, I have my CEO check-in where there is at least one day. Typically, it is 72 hours where I'm fasting from something. It's not always food. It depends, but I am fasting so that I can really hear what God is saying. Shoot, sometimes for me, I'm not one who scrolls on social media. Never have been and hope to never be, but I do play those games. And so I will be playing my game and I will have to fast from my game because I will be on there. Like you might be scrolling for hours on end. I could be playing one of my games for hours on end. So, but making this time for this CEO check-in, this connecting spiritually, grounding my soul, anchoring in to the significance of what I hear God say, it changes the game for me. It's why it's one of the pillars. I used to treat obedience like a suggestion. And I delay whatever it was until I felt comfortable with it. But every delay actually diluted my power. The moment that I started tracking obedience like I tracked revenue, and y'all know your girl's looking at that money every single day, I focus on what I want to expand. Everything began to change. My peace, my clarity, my provision. That's when I knew discipline is sacred. Yes, there is a reason your strategy feels stalled. And I bet you didn't realize it's spiritual. Discover your divine wiring, which informs how you lead, where you sabotage, and how to shift in order to scale with the Move to Millions Ascension Archetype Quiz. In less than 3 minutes, you'll learn what's really blocking your money, your momentum, and your mission. Take the quiz today at movetomillionsquiz.com. My best-selling book, Move to Millions, The Proven Framework to Become a $1 Million CEO with Grace and Ease Instead of Hustle and Grind, is now available on Audible. That's right. You can listen to nugget after nugget, strategy after strategy, and chapter after chapter designed to help you to position your business for 7 figures with grace and ease instead of hustle and grind. Go to Audible today to get your Audible copy of Move to Millions. Number 5 is making sure that you have an energetic wealth calibration. This is something you do every single day to regulate your nervous system. I love somatic principles and somatic modalities that support. I love emotional freedom technique or tapping. I love breath work. Because here's what I know. You cannot hold 7-figure opportunities in a dysregulated body. This practice will anchor in your energetic integrity and it will help you to feel safe. Nervous system first, money and sales second. It's a game changer. Number 6 is making sure that you're doing your mantle maintenance, your obedience tracking. You cannot just carry your goals. You have to realize that you are carrying a mantle. So weekly check-ins force you to ask, am I operating like a servant or as one who is sovereign? We are created in the image and likeness of God. That means we are given power, authority, and dominion over all things. The birds of the air, the people in the sea, they're not people. You know what I'm trying to say. Like all the things, we have dominion over all of it. The mantle maintenance is about making sure that you hear and you are operating in accordance to that. That's why the O in our MOVE acronym, mastery, operational obedience, vision, and execution, is so important to make sure that you're tracking obedience. You know what to do. Listen, let's be clear. You are very clear on what to do. I just started my Bible study. I promise you 5 years ago, God told me to start a Bible study. And I kept making excuses as justifications and to reasons to why I couldn't. But then I finally realized, Darnyelle, you are delaying a big part of your next level by not doing this. I told myself it had to be something I did every single week. God was like, I ain't never tell you that. So I started it and it's a once a month Bible study and I'm so excited. And number 7 is spending time in legacy devotion. This is where you are really focused on your ancestral and your future lineage and doing some honoring of that. Because again, you're not just building for today, you are echoing through eternity. This practice is going to align your legacy with heaven and with earth. And it will help to make sure that the work of your hands is shaping the future of the people that you will never meet, which is so awesome and exciting. All right, let's run through each of the 7 practical, sacred practices that really put together this this legacy leadership protocol. Number 1, taking a CEO Sabbath, making sure that there's a weekly reset. Number 2, doing some powerful 7-figure CEO journaling as a part of a morning calibration. Number 3, making sure that you are operating your legacy ledger with your weekly and monthly financial and faith reviews. Number 4, doing your spiritual CEO check-ins, your quarterly vision audits. Number 5, having your energetic wealth calibration every single day, keeping that nervous system regulated. Number 6, doing your mental maintenance by making sure that you are operating in obedience. And number 7, your legacy devotion, thinking about the future and even celebrating the fact that you are your ancestors' wildest dreams. So as we anchor out and round out this episode, here's what I want you to ask yourself. Which of these 7 practices do you already embody and which have you avoided? What would happen if you took your habits as seriously as you took your revenue goals? And who are you becoming in your private life? And is it aligned with which you are preaching to the public? I want you to build your business on sacred rhythms. I want you to consecrate your calendar. I want you to lead from a place that knows that you are worthy and deserving to build a financial legacy because you are a legacy-led CEO. So if you're ready to build a business that reverberates through generations, then I want you to choose just one practice from the Legacy Leadership Protocol and commit to it this week. I want you to tag me at Darnyelle Jervey Harmon and declare which rhythm you are going to get into. I want you to let your team, your family, and your community see what spiritual leadership at scale looks like, because wealth without rhythm is not sustainable and power without practice is empty. So let's get really, really clear about how soul leadership meets legacy-led CEO-ness. And let's put ourselves in a place to create an amazing trajectory of wealth and sustainability. In our next episode, we're going to talk about the shadow side of entrepreneurship, what it really costs to lead without legacy. We'll talk about burnout, misalignment, loss of peace, and why making millions without meaning is really what is called failure. Until then, I want to invite you to lead with rhythm, build with reverence, because you are a legacy-led CEO. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Thank you for joining me for the Move to Millions podcast. If this episode has impacted you in any way, would you please take a moment and rate and review? Doing so helps us to deepen our impact and expand our reach around the world. And if you are ready to start your very own Move to Millions, I highly recommend that you order your very own copy of my brand new best-selling book, Move to Millions, the proven framework to become a $1 million CEO with grace and ease instead of hustle and grind. You can get your copy and our bonuses today at movetomillionsbook.com. Until next time, remember, millions are your birthright, and to access them, you need only move. I'll see you next time.